do my own website workshop. My excitement is on 1,000, and I hope your excitement is as well. Because listen, what is about to happen in the next hour is about to be so transformational. This week in the group, we are talking about my purpose has a presence. And it's important that when you start living in purpose, that the people who are looking for you can actually find you. And one of the ways that these people can find us is obviously through a website. I often come across people who say, I don't have support. I don't have anyone. Listen, I am in Trinidad and Tobago, and I am about to unleash onto you someone who is it San Diego, Jose? Let me make sure I'm correct.
Yes, Jose Mascaro. Correct.
And we met through social media.
Correct.
People
On
have a
Facebook.
lot to say about social media, and we met on Facebook. We are both in another group, and the moment we met, I think we just clicked, and it was just like,
Mhm. Yeah, it's a win-win situation. Everyone wins when we try to help one another.
yes. So he is doing us this awesome, you know, giving us a gift today where he's going to show us how to use Squarespace to create our own website. So before I continue fumbling over my words and messing everything up, I'm going to just turn it over to the man himself so he can carry on with this workshop. Virtual claps. Let's welcome
Virtual
him
claps for
today.
everyone. Claps, claps. So, how's it going, everyone? My name is Jose Mascaro. Thank you for the awesome introduction, Krisha. Seriously, very happy to be here.
You're welcome.
Wanted to, first off, let you guys know what I do. I'm a musician, first of most. I've been making music since I was very young. I'm actually also from South America. I was born and raised in Peru. I've been living here in the U.S. since I was 9 years old now. I started with music first, and with music came along the need to brand myself and the need to market myself. And throughout the years in my music and putting albums and creating music, it was always my interest as to how I can get myself out there, how I can create a website and a presence online to make sure that my followers knew who I was, and the new followers, they know who I am, and what I do and where they can find my information, all that kind of stuff. Um, that also led me, while I was in high school, it led me to learn about graphic design and web design. So I started creating websites and started designing my own logos in the beginning of 2004, 2005. So yeah, it's
Wow.
been quite a few years. So I mean, I remember working with websites when all you had to do was start it off with code, and there was nothing else but coding, and that was the main thing. So that's kind of how I got started, and since then I've enjoyed making logos or enjoyed creating graphic designs for me or for my friends or clients, and creating websites just to show up presence. A website is basically your store, is your front store to the world. If you don't have a brick and mortar
Wow.
place, a website is your store to the world. So if you want a
I
good
love this.
presence, a website is the way to go. So I mean, that's just a little background about me. One of the main reasons why I like to work with Squarespace is because gives the user uh, a lot more access than your regular cPanel. And I don't know if most of you will understand what cPanel means. It's
No,
control
don't.
panel. It's what we used to use when we would create a website and using a server. So for many of you that don't know, before and even till today, some people still do it. The way that you go about creating a website is you buy a domain name, and then after buying your domain name, you have to find a hosting website somewhere so you can host your files, like all of your information, your pictures, your videos, the content that you want people to download. Aside from that, you also need to have someone to create the website for you. So if you don't know how to do it on your own, you need to pay a couple of $1,000s to do that. Um, what I like about Squarespace is that it brings all of those aspects together, and you don't have to worry about where you're going to host your files, where you're going to be putting all of your videos and your images and contents like that, or how to connect all of those together. Because back in the day, before, you would have to connect your domain to your server, and then your server to your hosting what's called to your hosting site, so you can actually connect everything together, such as like your mailing list and your other content that would be beneficial for your website. So um, that's one of the main reasons why I love Squarespace, just because it gives you that functionality to just go on there and get on your website and edit it. So if you have someone like me to set it up for you, I can hand it off to you, and you can have the ease of like be able to edit it without a problem and see the changes right then and there. So um, we'll go ahead and we'll get started. I actually I was talking with Krisha earlier. I have it's a surprise for her that it was working on her website. I wanted to put a concept together of how her website is going to be looking like. So I'm going to share my screen here, and we'll jump onto this. And guys, if you have any questions or anything like that, if you're in the chat room, or if you want to post anything in the Facebook group, Krisha will let me know if you guys have any questions, and we'll stop and answer if there's anything specific for you guys. But I'm sure you guys can now see my my screen.
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So this is basically how everything runs through Squarespace. We have these areas that are basically everything that's inside this area where you see the picture. This is my content area. This is basically the website. Everything that's here on my left side, this is Squarespace. This is the platform for Squarespace. This is what allows me to get inside my website and edit things around. So for many of you that haven't used Squarespace, it's a very simple thing to do to set up. You just go to the website directly, squarespace.com, and it'll ask you to sign in. Get started. You hit get started, and it'll take you to the templates. Here inside the templates, you'll have the ability to select the way your website will look and feel. Me personally, I like websites like the one that I've shown here, which is this is more of a index website. So as you can see, I scroll down and you'll see that there's white area, and then from time to time you'll see an image, and then you'll see more white area. So you'll have different sections. Think of this as a pamphlet, like a brochure that it's opening from top to bottom. Instead of being unfolded from left to right, it's being unfolded from top to bottom. So you'll get to see how the website will look like in one page. So you don't have to be clicking different things to go into a different page. There's other websites that when you're clicking through different pages, think more of a book. It's laid out like a book. So every time you click, you're flipping a page to go to another page. With this style of websites, you're just looking through a brochure and unfolding different areas as you're scrolling down. So this is one of the best setups that I like. One of the reasons why I chose to teach you guys how to do or recreate a website like this one is because this will give you more insight as to what you guys do. I know most of the people that are going to be joining us today are also life coaches and purpose coaches. So we want to make sure that we are giving you value within your industry. So one of the main things that you'll notice is that as soon as you get there, we have a question and we have a small button down here. One of the main things that we always want to have on a website is a CTA. CTA means call to action. You want to have a button that is going to make your visitor take action right away. It can either be to sign up to your latest newsletter. It can be to download your latest book or a free PDF that you might be giving away, or to go watch a video directly because you want to give them value right away. So that is just it's good web design structure. You always want to have a CTA on the front of your pages. So what I want to show you guys here is how we get around through Squarespace. So as you can see, this is my website. This is what the website would actually look like. Now, what we'll first do is we'll see that, you know, I have my logo here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the template that I actually started working with, which it was this one right here with Brian. And we'll start it off here. Now you'll notice that the website will be basically it's the template that it has its own images and it has all information. What I'm looking for in the template, just simple information that you always want to put in here. This is just for Squarespace to know what your website is about and what you use your website for. As of right now, we'll just use community and nonprofit. We'll use professional services and education. We'll go next. This is just selecting the site goals that you want to do, like showcase your portfolio, collect contact info, sell, announce events and projects, sell physical products, get higher, all those kind of things like that. These are things that would actually go onto your website search engine. So when people are searching for your website, Google will then collect all this information to categorize your website. So you want to put certain of these things in there so that Google knows exactly what your website is for and what it's about. And then the same thing goes here with the site description. This is the area where you want to have something that it's that it has to be very relevant to what you do in your industry and what your business is about. So because this is what it's going to show when you Google, and the first thing that comes up on Google and the words that come underneath the link for your website, it's what's going to show up here. So right now we're just going to skip this just to get moving on the demo.
So let me just make sure that everyone is with us, right, Jose? All you're saying is that I just need to go to squarespace.com, sign up, and then it takes me through these windows till I get to select a template. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep. Basically it. So right now we've basically selected a template. I just selected a template, and this website is basically ready to go. You'll see that up here I have a link that says Hidden Idea Marketing -K9R4.squarespace.com. If I was to go to this directly and open up on a different browser, this is what it will show me. It'll show me my actual website. Since I'm logged in right now, it's going to take me directly again to edit my website. Since I'm already logged in to edit, essentially this is what the website will look like, right? So you can see the similarity with the website. Some changes that I've made on the colors and the fonts and the way that the structure is set up. But right now what we're looking for is the basic templates. What we want to talk about in templates is imagine a template, your home, right? Your web address, your domain name is your street address, right? So you have your street address, which is your domain name. Your home is your website. Then there are little things inside websites within your design tab that are basically all the little elements within your website, like the fonts, the style of fonts that we use, the color combinations that we use throughout the website. All of those things, think of those little things as the accessories of your house. So here we're going to be looking at all these spectrums of how the website can be and how it's going to look like. So we'll set up this page. We'll make it look just like this. So what we'll do first, we can see that we have some color, a little bit of purple here. And we'll also notice that to my style editor, we'll see a lot of things here. So first things first, I'm going to show you guys how to get around styling the website. So basically what I mean is styling the website is the way that the website is going to look, what colors are showing up, what fonts are coming, what we're using for those. One of the main things we want to use is consistency. We want to be consistent on how we create our website. So you want to have something that's visually pleasing. And to do that, what I personally like to do is choose a color scheme. Choose from 2 to 3 colors. I usually personally like to go with black, white, and an accent color. The accent color can be anything. And that just also depends on what you like. But here, as you can see, we have white, black, and a purple color for her. And then on her images, we have a little bit of blue from the images themselves, which we can later add to that. So one of the things that I want to show you guys is how we get to do all of these on a new website. So you'll see that we have these little boxes that come up when I'm just scrolling through and put my mouse over it. So these are all the areas that I can edit. Okay, so what we'll see is that my site title doesn't have anything, right? If I click here directly, you'll see that over here on my left side, it'll take me directly to the area that I can go ahead and edit my website from. So you'll see that it says site title. I can put demo, so we'll put Krisha. Oop.
Yes, I'm here.
There we go. Oh, no, I was just saying this is where we're putting here, so we'll put Krisha.
Oh.
Yeah, you're good. Or what we can do is we can add a logo. So we have all these logos here that I created for Krisha a while back, and we'll add them. We'll just add this little guy over here. Here we go. So I add my logo, and right away you'll notice that I'll save it. It'll load my page again, and bam, my logo, it's already up here. So we'll go ahead and hit back button here, okay? So now I just added my logo, and there's still a whole bunch of other things. So you can see it doesn't look the same way that it looks over here. And this one is kind of in the middle, and my navigation is here on the left side. And as I was saying here, anything that's on my left side, this is the Squarespace platform. This allows me to navigate all throughout here. So first thing is on the pages section, you'll notice that you'll have all of these things out here, and they're all usually set up as demos because we started a new template and everything's going to be as a demo page. One thing we can do is just hit the edit button, and we'll create the actual page, and this will actually create the page for me and take out the demo version. Here is where you'll put your you'll name your page, and you'll add more description to your pages. So say, well, instead of doing home, we'll do welcome. As you can see down here, the page title also changes. I want to be sure that the page is enabled. It is actually live on the website. Again, the description, this is something that you want to do. Again, if you're creating an about page or a service page, you want to make sure that your description is relevant to the information of that page. So if it's your services website, you want to make sure that your description says, these are all the services that we offer, such as consultations, one-on-one training, things of that nature. You want to be sure to use key phrases. For some of you that might not know, key phrases are basically like keywords or hashtags that people use without using the actual hashtag sign. But they're a combination of words that get picked up on Google. So when you search on Google, how do I create a logo from scratch, or how do I create a PDF file, those are combination words. Those are keywords or key phrases. Those are the type of things that you want to do here. So you kind of want to have things that are relevant to that service or specific to that page on this area. Your URL slug is basically the actual link. So you'll see that when people go like hit it, like on my website, it will be hiddenideamarketing.com/home or /about/team, anything like that. This is where we want to go. So I'll put welcome here. This section right here for password, this is basically if you want to make the page password protected. So if you only want a specific client of yours to be able to access that specific page, this is where you would just put your password on there, and every time they go to it, they have to put in that password. So we'll go ahead and just save this.
So we have one question coming in so far, Jose. Somebody's asking if I have already purchased a domain through GoDaddy. What do I do? Does this integrate? So they want an answer to that question.
Yes, most definitely. We can answer that right now. So to be able to connect, say on Chris's website right here, if I wanted to connect her domain, the one thing that you have to do is you have to be connected on Google. I mean, not Google, on GoDaddy or whichever page you bought your domain from. The one thing you have to do is basically you can connect it. You would just go to settings. On settings, you would go directly to your domain. And then on your domain, basically all you have to do is you can either get a new domain and you can purchase it directly here, or you can use your own domain. And then this is where you would basically just add the actual name of the domain. So we'll just do Christian Bowen, and I believe it will just show me that it'll let me know where my domain was bought from and where is it from. So you can see, it'll let me know I can either transfer it to Squarespace, or I can keep it on GoDaddy, or I can just connect from the provider. Okay. And it'll ask me, it'll ask me to select the provider. It'll ask me to select GoDaddy, and then it does it automatically for you. There's nothing else to do. That's one of the cool things. Like if you have with GoDaddy, it'll do it completely automatic for you. So you can see you just select the provider and you just connect domain, and that's basically it. There's nothing else to do after that.
Okay, perfect.
You do have to wait. Sometimes it can take up to 24 hours for the change to take effect. In most cases, it takes up to like about 6 hours usually to take full effect. But in some cases, it's about 24 hours to take full effect. If there's any other questions like that, just let me know.
Yes.
Okay. So let's see. So now we're back in this section. What I'm going to do for you guys, actually, I want to show you how to stylize this page. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply create a new page here in this section. So you'll notice that anything that's up here on my right side, where it says navigation, this is everything that's showing down here. Now, remember where I mentioned the idea of a brochure or a book. This is what I mean. So you can see that my index, it has all these connections right underneath it. So these are the pages that are connected to my home page. So that means that these sections, you can see that first section says welcome up here. That's this section. If I continue scrolling down, this now changes to about. That means that is this page right here. If I keep scrolling, it'll say coach. And as you can see right here, this is where the coaching is. So if I click here, it'll take me to the areas that are in there. Now you'll notice that if I add another page up here by clicking this plus sign, I'll add a page. And now here, when we're creating a page, you'll see I can just go ahead and put my page title. I'll just do a books 2. And I can choose different layouts. You'll get to see that here. You can started layouts. They already have Squarespace already provides you with layouts that have been proving to work, such as placement for your images or your text, where the best locations will be for your on your page. So you can see that if I wanted to start a page, an about page, a contact page, details, features page, an image or team, it basically already has something selected for me. So if I wanted this to be a contact page, all I have to do is just select the way that I want it to look for me. And eventually you can actually edit these more to make it more to your needs, but you have different selections of things. But right now, for the sake of this, we're just going to do a blank page to show you guys a couple of tips and tricks so you can stylize your page. We'll start off with creating headers. You'll notice that the first thing always, whenever you create a new page, it always puts a text block. You'll hear me say that a lot throughout this. These things are called blocks. They're blocks that are basically they're content blocks. This is where we put all of our information for our website. So if I want to add more content, say I want to add a header, right? So we added a text block, and we'll put header 1, and then on this one we'll do header 2, and we'll do header 3, do body, and then leave. There was one more, which should just be for quote. So one of the reasons why I did this is for you to understand how we're going to stylize your website. So what I mean by stylizing is having different fonts, which fonts to select for your website, which fonts go together, and what colors we're going to use for each font. So you'll see, if you're very familiar with word processing software like Microsoft Word or anything like that, is very basic, just like it. You select your text. You can make it bolder. You can italize it. You can do a hyperlink. We'll get back to this here in a second. I can indent. I can put it on my left, on the center, on the right side, and then if I select all of this, I can bullet and number it, basically just like every other word processing program out there. But basically what I want to do now is I'm going to select this, and this is where I select my text. This is where I select all of my fonts. So you'll notice that you'll have these options: heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, quote, and code. Okay, so, and then normal. So what I did was I wrote header 1, so I can select header 1, and then that shows me this is how every time I write a header on my website, this is how it's going to show. And now I select header 2, header 3. This is what the body is of when it's normal, and then this is what it will look like whenever I want to do a quote. So there's not too much difference, but I'm going to show you how to change all of this. So now this is all of the styles of fonts that my website is using right now. So give it a second. Sorry about that. It's taking a little. Whoop.
This is great. We have some feedback coming through. People are saying, wow, looks really easy. Who's ready to get started?
Yeah, for sure.
They love templates. So this is pretty good. Thank you.
Yes, of course. Yeah. And the best thing, I know usually I actually, one of the things I forgot to say is that I actually started working with Wix. I ever started using Squarespace, and I personally liked Wix from when I first started. And I think that was around 2008 when I started using Wix. I personally like Wix, but one of the things that I didn't like is that there was so many plugins and so many things you can add to it that it took a lot of memory for your website to load. So it added your website with so much coding that when you wanted your website to load, it would just be completely slow because it was trying to, do like animation on your background, or like, like some people like putting animations on their cursor. So like when you move your cursor, you have like little hearts following, or like, like little glitters following your cursor and everything. So like it would add a whole bunch of things that just wasn't necessary for websites. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you wanted to have a professional looking website, there's no need for tons of like little kid animation like a MySpace page. So for me, that's what made me switch to Squarespace, because it took the um the aspects of wanting to be visually pleasing, so like aesthetically pleasing with the visuals and how everything looked, but also have such a simplicity of just being able to be someone who doesn't know how to code or doesn't know how to create a website, but it makes it so simple for you to make it look professional, and again, not adding any of the unnecessary stuff that is not needed. So that's one of the main things. So but yeah, let me get back to this. So basically what I did, I chose all these headers, and these are all the fonts that are available on my page, right? So we'll also add, I forgot how to do this. Here we go. I forgot to do it. Okay, so here we go. I'm also gonna add some buttons. So basically what you'll notice that I have these little lines, these little breakers. When we have these little breakers, this is where we're able to add any style of content. And what I mean by that is basically when I click it, you'll see all these content blocks. Again, you'll hear me say blocks all the time here. So we have a text block, we have markdown blocks, quotes, images, we can add video, spacers, liners. We'll talk about those here in a second. We have buttons, we can add audio, we can add video. Images, we have different layouts and styles that we can lay them out. We can lay out galleries for a whole bunch of images. So we have a lot of images from an event and we want to put them together. That's where you want to put them in a gallery block. And then you have your more essentials, like creating a form to take information from your visitors. We have the newsletter form for people to sign up to your newsletters. Say if you have an event, like an actual location, you can add maps. You can add more coding if you are into coding. You can add your calendar with events for people to check out all the events that you have them. Acuity is it's a website that allows you to take in consultation calls and be able to get paid through them right away. So if people want to book you for a consultation call, Acuity is one of the best ways to go to do that. And then as you can see, there's just a whole bunch of more stuff that are just very self-explanatory. You can add filters and lists for people to search on your website. You can add e-commerce. So if you sell products directly through Amazon or things like that, you can add them directly here. If you need to add charts, such as like a bar chart, a line chart, or a pie chart, you can add those too. So there's a lot of things that you can really do with this. And then your social blocks, you can add your Twitter feed, you can add your Foursquare feed, you can add social links, so you can add all of your content media that you have there. You can have RSS feed, your Instagram, SoundCloud, and Flickr, and all those kind of things. So one of the other things I was going to do here is to show you guys how to stylize this will be with buttons, because that's one of the other main things that you're going to need a lot on your website is buttons. For people to click on things, they're going to need a button. So very essential here all the time. So you'll see that I just, I went up here and I created a button. And you'll notice that here, basically you'll have size, and I can change the size of my button. And one of the things I'm going to show you here is that each one of these can be edited on their own. So if I choose to only use small buttons, they're going to look one way. If I choose to use the mediums, they're going to look a different way. So I'm just going to add more buttons here so we can see the difference between all of them. Stylize them. You can also change the text. So if I want to do, say, click here, you'll notice right here that it automatically changes it for you. Click through URL basically means this is what you want them to click to. So if you want to send them to a different page to your website, you will click this button that says content, and then down here you'll see that you'll have all of the pages that you've created, all the pages that we have done already will show up here. So say if this was a contact button, I want to send that person to a contact page. We'll create a contact page here in a second. So for now, we're just gonna link this to the block or the home page. You can also link them to files. So say if you want someone to download something right away, you can link it directly on here. So if you have a PDF file that you want someone to download, you would add it here. Very simple. Again, all you have to do is just you'll go to files, and it'll ask you to add a new file. Click it. We'll add this PDF or the zip file with the logos that we had for Krisha. You'll notice that it'll just upload. It's been uploaded, and then I can rename it directly through here. I can name it to just logos, and it'll rename it for me. I can open it in a new window, so when someone clicks it, it won't take them away from this page. It'll open up a separate tab for them to download or access the file that that you want them to access. But basically, you can also do 8 links. So if you don't want to have if you don't want to link them to something directly on your website, you want to link them to an external page. So if you want to send them to another website, to like a friend's website or something like that, this is where you would do it. You just copy the link for it, and you paste it there, and then you put open up in a new window, and it'll be there for you. So you'll notice these things. You can also align them. You can align them to the left, to the right, or the center. So you'll notice those different changes right here. So we'll just continue this. We'll add another button so you can see what I mean. That you'll have 3 different style of buttons, but each style of button will be different. So we'll add these things here. And now we're gonna jump on the section that allows me to change my accessories, if you will. Like I was explaining earlier, remember your website is your home. And then inside your home, you have your accessories, like what, all the aesthetics, like what color the table is going to be, what colors the walls are going to be, you know, like what kind of towels your guest room is going to have. So those are the things that are going to be here under our design tab. This is, and we'll go under style editor. This is where we're able to access any of those things that I just said, such as like the color of the font, the color of the buttons, even the effects that the buttons have when you scroll over them. Like you can see these effects. I can change the color. I can make it to just be purple, blue, any color I want, change all those things. So what we'll do is here on my left side, you'll see that I have all these options. There's tons and tons of options, and I'm pretty sure it's looking a little bit overwhelming, but trust me, it's really not. It's very, very simple. So one of the things you'll notice is that I have these blue brackets coming out, like these little small blue brackets that are showing up there. These little things are basically it lets me know the sections that I'm targeting that I want to change. So again, you'll see that if I click header right here on my left side, it took everything else that was on there and it just selected the options that I'm able to edit. So you'll see that it says content font for this section. It says heading 1. Remember, because I selected my text and it made it a header 1. What I can do from here is basically I can change my font. That section, we'll do it once again here on heading. You'll click this little area and you'll have all these other options. Now we have the option to change the fonts. And one of the greatest things about Squarespace too is that they use Adobe Typekit and Google Fonts, and they're one of the biggest libraries of fonts and the internet and like around the world. But basically, when you use Squarespace, you have access to all these fonts. So some of these fonts are very exclusive, and some of these fonts, like, you have to pay hundreds of dollars to use them. Like if you wanted to use it on your other websites without using Squarespace, and say you were using Wix and Wix doesn't have that, and you want to use that font, you have to buy that font, and that costs a lot. So this can actually gives you access to a wide variety of fonts and exclusive fonts that you don't have to pay extra for. So that's things out there that I like about it, because you don't have to spend extra money on that. Makes your website stand out a lot more, because everyone uses the same style of fonts, the Arial font, or I mean, there's a whole bunch of fonts that are like everyone uses all the time. So what you can see here, basically, I can choose any font that I want. We'll select something. Where is it? One of my other favorite fonts. Let's see. Well, something really nice. Here we go. We're gonna do. I'm gonna do that. But basically, what you'll see is that I can change that on there. The header too, as you can see, if I click it here now, this content font, it switched directly to heading 2. I'm just gonna click here that says show all to show you that I can still find them here. If I scroll down, you'll see that it says content fonts, body text, heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. So as you can see, as I'm putting my mouse over these out here, they're also being selected. So it lets me know which area I'm going to be changing. So then you get to know what you're doing. So again, with header 2, say I want my header 2 to be a different color. Say I want it to be, the same color as the purple that I have here on her logo. Since I already have it here, I'll just go and select it and copy my color code. This is my hex code. This is a color code that shows me what color is going to be showing up. So again, if I select my header 2, and you'll see that it gives me the options to only edit those, I can change the color of my content heading. So I'll click that, and I can either move it myself, and you'll notice the color start to change. It'll be right there in front of you. So you can start to see what the other colors can be. We'll just do a purple. We'll do that. And you can see that now you have these headers that are going to be completely different than one another. So every time you put something around, they have a little bit more style. They're not all going to look the same. And then the same thing goes with your buttons. When I go over at each button, you'll notice that it turns black and it switches the color of my font. So if I click it again here, you'll see that it changed everything to button block small. You'll see here that when I click the one that it's medium, it'll switch it. It'll say medium, and then this one is large. So now you get to actually edit each one on their own. So one of the reasons why I like to do this is because when you're creating your website, like from scratch, like this one, you put something new, it's going to be very default. So you're going to be using like a small, say if I add a small block here, we'll just create this, and I make my button here, right? Say it usually always uses the medium button right away. It automatically chooses that for you, but sometimes you don't want your button to be that big, and then you go to small, and in other templates it'll be a different color, or it'll be a completely different scheme, or just because you had already started your website, you start to change it on your own, and you only changed it on the medium button, but you didn't change it on the large button or the small buttons. And then later on, when you want to use them, you have to repeat the process again of changing the color and doing that. So to save you that extra step, it's just easier to always lay out your page on a brand new page, lay out your headers and lay out your buttons, so then you can stylize them and see how everything's going to look, so you don't have to redo these steps all the time. So again, we just very easy. You just click them, such as selecting a solid. So now you can see this one remains that way. So every time I use a small button, it'll always be like this. Whenever I use a medium button, I can make this actually a sorry, we can click it. Say I want to make this a different color. Say I want to make it red. We create it, make it red. So now every time it's red. So every time I use the medium buttons. So one of the ideas is what you can use is like if you have something that's special for that week or that month on your website, you want to select a big button. You want to make sure that that button is out there, that it's reflecting what you want people to take notice on. So you can, you know, always use the smaller buttons for like for just when you want a person to go to a different page or to just download something. But if it's something really important, you want to use the bigger buttons with the brighter colors. We'll say like you can go with a really, really bright red, or even we can just go with another, we'll go with another blue here. But then you also have the option, as you can see, my red one, I can outline it or I can have it raised where it has a little bit of effect at the bottom. It's barely noticeable that when I click it, it actually has like a click, like a push down button in a way, if you will. Other things that you can do is you can change the shape of your thing. So if you don't want it to be too square, you can round it. Now it has a little bit rounder corners, or you can make it into a pill. So it's completely rounded all around throughout the outer layers. And then again, you can change the font inside of your of the buttons themselves. And again, that it does it for each individual one that you want. So if you really want to make a bold statement by saying click here, then you want to select fonts that are a little bit more bolder, they're a little bit wider to grab attention from your reader all the time. So you want to use something like that. Click here. So now again, you can see how you can stylize all of these. Now I'm going to show you guys something, and this is probably going to look a little funny because we were doing these changes here. When you create these changes, you need to understand that it creates the changes all throughout the page. So now if I go back to her website, you're going to see that the things that I've changed are a little bit different. So you'll see on my regular page, this font was completely different than we had before. You'll see that my buttons down here, these were all blue. I mean, sorry, they were all black. Now they changed to purple because these, when I click them, you'll see that they're heading number 2. And what we did on the other page is that we changed anything that I create into a heading to be purple and to be this specific font. So, and now again, you can see my button changed. It used to be the black one. So these all changes all happen throughout the website. So that's one of the main things that we want to have. That page that I showed you that we just created, it's because we want to make sure that we see all how our website is going to look like and what the style is going to be on our buttons and all those things. Now, one of the other things I'll show you here is how to move content around. One of the biggest things that we'll notice here is that we have content, and one of the other bigger questions is how is this going to look on mobile? One of the best things for me is that Squarespace, it's very, very fluent on mobile. That means that it really has a good structure on how the website is built to be responsive in mobile. So it doesn't matter what you're using. If you're using a iPad mini to like the newer iPad or your iPhone or Android phone, the website is going to look amazing no matter what, and it's going to run smoothly. It's going to look great. There's not going to be much lag. Things are going to be where they're supposed to be. But you can see all of that when you're here too as well. So you can get to see how your website is going to look like in mobile. So if I hit that button, when you enter the website on mobile, this is how it's going to look. So people can just scroll down, see the website, see all the information about her, see the buttons and everything like that. So everything keeps in constrained, and it keeps everything very, very nicely centered, and it keeps all the information as it should be. So one of the tips is one of the tips that I usually like to do is, oh, 1 second, I think I see a question here. How do we get the picture on the homepage? Okay. So one of the, you're talking about this image, I'm pretty sure. Okay. So the way that we got this picture up here, we're just going to go ahead and create a new page. So I'll just go ahead and do this. You'll see, actually, no, sorry. So we're here up top, and you'll notice that this page is a index page. I'm just going to click this right here to create a new page. You'll see that this icon is right here, so that means that this is a index page. The index page is what allows me to do this, to be able to scroll down. If I was just to create a page, it's actually going to take me to a different page, and I won't be able to scroll. So you always want to make sure you have it on an index page, okay? So basically what we want to do is we'll create the page, or we'll add the section right here at the bottom. We hit the at section. We'll create a content page. After the content page, we'll just do a demo here. We're gonna have a blank page. We're not gonna add anything to it. So we'll just go ahead and start editing. Now, this is how we're gonna move content around on the website. There we go. So now, basically, I'm just gonna save this, show you guys the reference. So I created that page and I called it demo, right? So now you can see that right here it says this page is empty and add content blocks, right? So you can see I have this area that comes up when I'm down here. It says demo, so that lets me know that it's this page right here, this section, demo, and I can edit. It says banner settings, okay? The one thing we want to do is we're going to do banner. Hit the banner. Now it'll give you an option to either add an image or a video. If you want to add video, it only shows video on browser and on iPads, but when you're on mobile, it will show a different image. So if I was to select the video to be my background, I can add a mobile fallback image, which is basically it's what it'll load instead of a video on my browser on my phone, because remember, on the phone it won't show the video. So if you want me to add an image, all we do is basically just go to image, add the image here. So we'll add the image that we added for her here. We'll add that one. It'll load up, and we'll give it a second. So once it's done loading, we'll be sure to save it, and then you'll notice that right away it'll change it out here in the background. So I'll save it, and it'll load the page automatically for me. And now remember, this demo page is all the way at the bottom, right? So now we added this bottom. So that means I just can't keep scrolling. I'll scroll down to the bottom, and her image is right there at the bottom. Sorry, it's a little bit slow. There we go. So there's the image, right? We have this demo section. We're going to grab it and we're going to pull it all the way to the top. And now all we have to do is basically go to the page again, make it reload. Now you see that there's two images because we've used the one that was there before, but that's basically how it's added. You just add it directly on the section. So I'm just going to delete this. I'm going to delete this section here. Confirm. You see her images right there. So every time you create an index, so this image is actually in the home page for the not for the welcome, I believe, was it? Because there's so each one of these it's a individual page on their own. And each page can have their own banner, but there's different ways to add those banners onto those. So you can see one is able to actually have some more information on top, such as adding more wording on top of the images. Let's see.
So she's asking, how do you go about adding the text on top of the image?
The text on top of the image? Yeah. So once you have the image on there, all you have to do is click edit and it'll open up on its own and then it'll give me these options to edit everything that's up here. So you'll see that this is my text area and basically what I have here. And again, if you're familiar with any word processing like Microsoft Word and all that, it's the same way. You select your content. Again, we can make it a heading to be the heading 3. We can make it heading 2 or heading 1. And then you'll see the lines again. You can add more content. If I wanted to add a video, I can add a video right here on top of this image. I can add, if I wanted someone to sign up directly to my newsletter, I can hit the newsletter content block and it'll have all this come up and it'll say subscribe. And you can see right here, it added the box directly on the image to actually go ahead and do that. But so you can see it doesn't look that great when you have it on there just like that. You always want to have your subscription your subscribe for your newsletter at the bottom of the website or completely all the way at the top, which I'm going to show you guys how you can do that as well. But basically, yeah, just to be able to add the words above the images, you create all of those the same way like that. So whenever you create the, yes, there we go. So yeah, whenever you create the pages, the first thing you do is you go and you add it as a banner. And then you edit, and then it'll allow you to edit. And then here on this white section, this one doesn't have, if I go to banner, you can see that about, it's on my about, there's nothing on there. If I was to put an image on there, then it will be right behind where it says a little story about me and all the other stuff on there. But since I don't want there to be a picture, we leave it clear and we add our content here. Now, one of the things that I kind of skipped through was showing you how to move your content around, because that is one of the main things that people have trouble with, is how to move your images and your content around. So we'll go to the page here for books. And we have all these headers and things like that. I'm going to add a couple of images to this page. And as you can see, like, I don't have anything more to scroll down here because this page, part of my index. So it's not connected to these lines right here. That lets me know that all of these pages are under one index. So that means that it allows me to scroll all the way, but this page is not. It's by itself. That means that it's like a flip book page. It's you're just flipping through it. It's there. So, but now to move our content around, very simple. You know, you don't want to have just content laying around there and not being able to move around. Say if we have, you know, a big section of we're gonna pick some just some dummy text real quick. So I'll pick this up. Let's say we have this text like you're about and things like that. And you don't always want it to be there. You don't always want it to be there at the center, right? You're like, oh, well, I want to have like an image right next to it, or I want to have like a different column or anything like that, right? So we're going to add another section of text. We're just going to do the same thing, copy and paste it. Now, you'll notice, like, again, when we have these lines, this lets us know where we can put our content, but it also lets us know where we can move our content to. So one of the things we'll do is you'll see that every time I take my mouse and I hover the actual name of the content block, it gives me the hand, meaning I can click and drag it. So if I click and drag this, I can move it around. And again, you'll see these lines are showing up again. These lines are everything. This is what allows you to move your content all around your website. So say I want to put it right next to this text. I want to make two different columns of text. I can move my content right there, or I can move it right there. You'll see that you'll have different lines coming in. You'll notice that this line goes all the way to the bottom. And then when I move it next to the box right here, it gives me an even smaller one, or a smaller one, or a bigger one if I go like all the way to the right. When you go all the way to the right and you have a line that goes all the way to the bottom, that means that you're going to be moving all of that content to the left side. So now I have two complete columns. So I can put more stuff underneath, and I have this one column here or one column here. Say that's not what I wanted to do, because say if I want to put something right here, I won't be able to. I have to put it underneath all of this stuff here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this and I'm going to put it back to where it was underneath this text. Say I only want to move it to, oh, I did this again. 1 second, sorry. Here we go. At times if you have two text areas, it'll just merge them together from time to time. So now you can see I have to edit again so it's not merged together. So again, we'll click it and drag it. And I just want to move it right next to this guy. So when I put it here, now we have two sections of this without actually having to move everything at the bottom. So I can still have this section here, and then I can move just these two sections around here with my text and play around with them. And the same thing goes for images. So we'll add images. We'll just go ahead and add this guy, and we'll add an image. We'll add a cool image of Krishna here. Power pose. Hey man, the power pose works. I know it works. Power pose works, man.
Yay,
so,
power pose.
Yes, it does. So now we have one image, right? And so we're like, all right, that's a really cool image, but I want to show more. I want to show more of Krisha. Let's see what we can do. We add another image. So we'll go here. And I know she's got a, what's it called? Where's the other one? We'll just add, this is another one with the power post. And we can do, also, one of the other cool things is that Adobe has what's it called? One of their programs, it's already installed inside the platform here. So if I wanted to actually edit this picture on the spot, I can. I can just hit edit, and then you'll have this other section come up. And now I can actually make my image smaller. Say I don't want to have too much of this here on the side. Pop it. Make my image smaller right here. I can do that. Right, we can apply it. and now my image is smaller. We can also resize it. We can make it smaller. I can add text directly. We can add effects directly onto here. So there's a lot of things that we can do directly on there. So you don't have to actually like get off editing your website and go to Photoshop and edit your images. You can just do it directly through here, right? So we have this option. So we'll just go ahead and just resume. We're going to cancel this, keep that original image. We'll save it. So now we have these two images, but I don't want them to be one right above each other, correct? So what I'll do is, again, you'll see that I have the hand that comes up, and I can grab my image and move it around. And again, you can see that the line does not go all the way down. It just goes up to the length of the picture. If I go a little bit more to the right, it'll make it longer. I just want to make it right next to the image. And now I have two images that are right next to each other. And I can make this one shorter if I wanted to. When you click the image, you'll have this section right here that allows you to even more if you wanted to. So if I want to make them both the same size, bam. We just have two images that are the same size. Another cool trick is that you can see, like, I don't want her head to be cut off right there at the top. I'm like, no, that just looks weird to me to have your half of your head chopped off. So we can move this a little bit. This little circle area right here, it's just called a focal point. So this is where your image will be showing whenever you want to do any changes. So say if the image was way bigger like the other one before, I can just have it show me a little bit more of that side. And it also helps for your mobile browsing. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So now I have these two images, right? I'm going to go to this front page real quick for just to show you this. You'll notice that her image is right there. So when I scroll, you'll see that she's right there in the middle. She's my focal point. And then if I was to look at this on browser, I mean, not on browser, on mobile, this is how it's going to look on mobile. See that, there we go. You can see that her face is still the focal area. It's still like I'm trying to keep her within the focal area of the mobile browser. But you have to make sure you move those focal points, because otherwise, say on the front page, this image, I go to the banner. And if so I have my, yeah.
We have a question.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking, so can I work on my website for a while before I decide to go live? Like build it and then go live.
So there's actually quite a few options that we can do here. Squarespace gives you a 7-day trial on, or is it a 7-day trial or a 14-day trial? I believe it's a 14-day trial. It's 2 weeks of trial. So when you sign up, you just go into and you're in trial mode and you can create your website. Once the trial mode is expired, you have to pay for it to be actually live. But you can, the way to do things like edits and not have it go live on your website, one of the workarounds is just that you can just duplicate that website. Or if you're working on a page, you can duplicate it and put it on a area. So basically what this means is that if you're in a non-linked area, so you see the books page right here, it says books 2. It's on my navigation right here. That means that anyone can access it. Anyone that goes to my website can access it. If I move this and I put it on the section that says not linked right here, I just drop it there. And now when I reload my page, I'll go back to my main page. You'll notice that on my main navigation, that link that says book 2, it's gone. It's not up here anymore. And no one can access it unless they have the link directly, the actual link page to it directly. But this is what you want to do when you want to Or the other way around is if, say, you want to do a lot of changes to your front page, but you don't want to have the whole website down, all you have to do is just page and you hit the gear button, and all you do is you create. So you scroll all the way to the bottom, and it'll say duplicate page. You just duplicate it, confirm. It'll make a duplicate, and automatically it will put it on a not linked area so people can actually access it. So you just have the copy of the welcome page, and then you can edit everything that will be from your welcome page here directly. Now, again, you can see this is a little bit off topic from what it was, but I hope that answered your question as to how you can work on your website. Um, you notice here is that even though it's a complete exact copy of my welcome page here, since you can see that it doesn't look the same. It just did not look the same. So if I click here, even though it's a complete duplicate, it's going to show me something completely different. Sorry, here we go. And the reason why is because you can see it's not showing how it's supposed to be. Like the what legacy, what you leave behind should be on the image. The image should be a little bit bigger. All those things should be a little bit different. Again, that is because this page, I haven't put it under a index page. It's a page on its own. So if I was to just do this and I added an index, and we'll just call it new index, right? Now you can see there's nothing in the index. It says it's empty. And if I grab my copy of the welcome page and I move it to my empty index and I move it to the section, you can see that once it does that, reload on its own, and now it actually looks the way it should look, because we have to have it on an index, in an index form for you to be able to do that. Otherwise, you're just going to have regular pages with a very small banner on top and things like that. So it's very good to keep in mind that not all of the templates have indexes. Some of them are just regular menus. So when you look for pages, make sure that you look for the ones that have indexes if you want them to have this this effect on here as well.
And can you remind us of which template you used to begin this design?
Yes. So we'll go here. And also when you guys are already here on your page, you can change your templates. You can change how your website looks directly without having to actually change all of your website. So what I'm going to do show you here is, yeah. So basically what I did was when you're in Squarespace, it'll be squarespace.com /templates. And then here is where we'll see all of the one that I used was this one, the brine template. Okay, now another insight that I'm going to give you guys is that about, I believe there is 11 different template families. So what that means is that not family, sorry, there's different templates, and each template has different families. What that means is that the website that I started with for you, this one, Breen, if I was to choose a complete different template to start off with, let's see, like one that it looks just the same almost. So this one right here, Fulton. It has the same similarity. So these two are actually the same template, but this just shows you the versatility that the template has. So even though these two templates are actually the same templates, these two are the same idea. You can see that it's an image, white area, an image, the same idea of concept, right? But you can see that my menu, it's not up here. It's not up here like this one.
Yes.
This menu is down here on the side, so it comes out to the side like this. So these, and we can make the same thing for your template. It's just that we have to on the style editor. So the style editor is basically where you're able to change anything that you want on your template. So I know a lot of people get a little bit turned off because they don't see that there's a lot of templates, because like WordPress gives you like hundreds of thousands of templates that you can use, and like Wix does the same thing. So like we have thousands of templates. Squarespace only has about like a good amount, like maybe like 30 different designs that they're showing, but all of those 30 different designs are within like just a few different templates. So you actually have a wide variety of changes you can do. It's just a matter of you exploring the templates yourself and changing that. So like say if I wanted to make that change, like I just click here on the top of the header, and we'll see what I have here. So like my primary navigation, you can see that when I select here, it selects the name here too as well. And I can change this. I can actually hide it if I wanted to and not show it. Or we can, we can put it in the center. So taking a little bit. You can put it on the top left, top right, if I want it to be right next to it, like that. There's literally like a whole bunch of different ways that this can be laid out, which is why I love it so much, because it's just a matter of playing around with it. It's
right.
There's not much, but basically one of the things, like now, see, you can see this one is actually there with the picture and not all the way on the top. So you can make your website look as how you want it to look. There's a few things that you can add by doing coding, adding your own code, which is not that hard. It's just gotta know how to read it and do those kind of things, but it's very easy to implement it directly on the websites. But then let me think of one of the other important things to do here is, we're gonna create a product. We'll create a product real quick to show you guys how to create a product. So first thing you'll want to do is you want to create your shop. So you can see this one already has one created, but the way to do it again is you click your plus sign here on the top, have a product, you just click it and you'll come up with something like this. It'll be empty. It says no products. Click here to add your first product. There's nothing here. So there's three different options that we can do here when we create a product. We can create a physical product. That means that you actually have the product with you. So say like Krisha has the new Purpose Diaries coming out. That's a physical product. So she actually has it and she'll ship it out. You want to use that here on physical product. If you have a digital product such as a PDF file or like a video file or like a zip folder for people to download any content that you want to give them, that's where you want to use it for digital. This, as it says right there, the customer will receive a secure link to the file lasting 24 hours to first download. That means if someone buys a PDF or a video from you, they will get an email. Once they go to their email and they click the link, that link will then start off the 24-hour countdown. So after 24 hours, they will not be able to access that link. That link will be completely gone. So they need to be able to do that to download the file that they have. And that's also for your benefit, for the person who's selling, so that people just are not giving that link out to everyone if they purchase it one time, and it's not giving out your content for free. And then the other one is a service, which is basically just people just pay you and they don't have to do anything. So say if you wanted to get paid to do a conference call or something like that, this is what you would use, a service instead. What we're going to use here, we're going to use a physical product. To to do something real quick. We're going to add the diaries for this right here, for the purpose diaries. So we can add one image or two images, depending on how many you want. So we'll go ahead and add two to kind of show you the variety of it. So first things first, we'll add the image. We'll add our product. So this is purpose diary, notebook. Or wait, no, this is a planner.
Planner, that's fine.
Okay. So planner. So we're gonna sell this for $100,000.
I will.
So we'll do this. Where is your actual price for this? You add one.
This is gonna be $25.
Okay, so we'll do the $25. We'll just add the price on there, $25. If they ever go on price, you can also set them here. So say we'll do like $20 for our sales price, just for theory. But as you can see, my price doesn't change, even though I just put it up there. Even though I'm saying sales price, it's not showing it. It's still saying 25. And what you want to do is you make sure that you click on sale button, and then actually put it on sale for you. This is where you can select your stock. So we'll put like there's 20 on stock. We'll put how much the book will weigh. We'll just say like 2 pounds. And then we can add the dimensions of the book and everything. All of these things are essential because if you are going to be mailing things out, you want to make sure that you have a website called ShipStation. And the reason why ShipStation allows you to connect with Squarespace, and then it helps you not have to worry about the what's the word I'm looking for? All of the extra information that you have to collect from the person that just bought your product. So they will take care of everything, such as getting the buyer's information, the name, the address. If you are supplying like tracking codes for anything like that, they will get the tracking code and everything ready for you. And all you have to do is basically someone buys something on your page. All you have to do is you go to your Squarespace page and you fulfill the order, and it'll send you a link for you to basically what's the word I'm looking for? It'll give you a link to print out your own sticker and your own label for your shipment. So you don't have to worry about anything, all that. It'll just do it for you automatically. They are $10 a month for their service to use, but I mean overall it takes the headache of having to write down all the information and make sure that all the information that you're typing when you're shipping out for your customers to be able to get it. And again, they give you a 30-day trial, which is great. I ended up using it when I had my a clothing line, so people were buying clothes directly from my website and everything. So that's one of the things I use. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why you want to use that. So we're back here with the item. So after we do all of that, we're here on item. We want to add some description, your daily planner. Get ready for the end of the year. We'll just put something here. And now basically I'm just adding just a little information at the bottom. You can also add your categories and your tags. These are important if you are using a lot of stuff, if you are selling a lot of stuff and a lot of different stuff. So categories, this will be under books, of course, or planners, sorry. So it'll be under planners. Say if Krisha was actually selling her books directly through the website and not on Amazon, then we would also add books. So then they can have two different categories. So people are looking at planners or at books or at PDF files and videos and things like that. So you want to use categories mostly for very broad spectrum of subjects. So that's what you want to use the category for. And the tags, you want to use the tags to be a little bit more, what is it? The tags is what you want to use for your more specific wording. So if this planner is a specific planner for how to achieve your goals, then you would put goals in tags. Say if she had a planner that was more specifically to business relationships and how to like make better business plans with your business colleagues, then we can put tags business planner and things like that. So more of the niche down words that you want to be more specific about your broader product. That's what you want to use here. Okay. The other information that we can do is, even though we just added some information here, saying your daily planner and all those things, you can hit the additional information up here. And now on your additional information, again, you can see these lines appear again. That means that you can add all of the same things that you would add on your regular page down here on your additional information. So if I wanted to add a video, kind of explaining a little bit more about what the planner is about, I can add the video directly on here. So basically, we'll just quick. Let's see, I'm just going to grab a link just for show purposes. We'll just add this link that we're using. Okay. Copy link address. So again, here, we'll just go ahead and add the video. Add this guy. We'll add some text. Learn more. It's not showing. Okay, it should show up here in a second. We'll just do this one instead. There we go. So now you can see there's a video out there. We can put, again, if you want someone to like, do a form while they're watching this and looking through all this, so they can add a specific information on it, they can do the same thing. So we'll just add this here. And then basically here you can add another thumbnail image, your URL. So if this one was specifically for the purpose diary, we'll put purpose diary right there. We can use a custom button, so we can have them come in and purchase directly, or we can just have them add it to their cart so they don't have to go and check out directly. Or we can also have this as a featured product, so it would always put that product on top of the page of your products, as well as your social. So if we have any accounts connected here, what will happen is that when I connect my social media accounts to here, basically what it will do is that whenever I create a new post or a new product, I can post those products directly on my social media pages right away. So then I don't have to like always copy, and that definitely just did that. Sorry about that. Yeah, I forgot to say, it didn't save it, so I didn't do any of those things that I just added here. But we'll just do this very quickly.
Yeah, because I see some people say, "Whoa, they're having information overload." But guys, we're almost done.
Yes,
if you have any questions, please type it in. So while he's creating this, we will look at the questions.
Yeah, we'll answer those questions right after this to be a little bit more specific to any problems that you guys might be facing right now. So we'll just do demo info. It didn't save it for me, so we'll just do planner. Variance, we'll just do the 25, 20, because I just want to show you guys how it's going to look once all of that is done. Then additional info, we'll just put learn more. As you can see, like if you get used to it, it's very simple and easy to just navigate through this and make it in very minimal effort to get it working. So we'll just add the video. just here. Then they're gonna be wondering what it's gonna look like once all of this is done. Um, and then also here you'll see that I know I added a form at the bottom before, but every time you create a product, you'll have you can create a form for that specific product. So if you want to gather more information about the person that's buying your product, but if you want it to be specific about that product, this is where you want to do it. So you just create a new form, and every time you create a new so this one is just specifically for the diary, right? And we'll just add a form. We'll add a form field, just name. We'll just do that text. So every time you create a new product, you'll have the options of selecting the forms that you want that person to use. So before they buy the product, they have to fill out the form. So then that way for you, you know what they bought and if there's anything in specific that they might have about that product that they just purchased from you. So this is a good way of keeping track of what and who buys what on your page. So again, we'll just do this one, Purpose Diaries. And then we'll save and publish. And now you'll see that I have this, and I'm just going to do this. You can also duplicate your products. You just double click it and you'll have this option right here at the bottom. We're just going to duplicate it right now just to give you a little bit more perspective of how it looks when you have multiple content here. And then we'll go ahead and save and publish again. Now you'll notice that here basically you just have this. This is not how your page is going to look. This is how it's going to look. So you close this and now you see that you have this page that I just created, and it shows me the two images that I put there. When I put my mouse over, it shows me the other image. Now when I click it, it goes in, and now this is what my page will look like. The title of the product, the price, you know, this is the slash down price. It was $25 and now it's on sale. This is the demo information that I had on there, and then this is the button to add to cart. And then remember the area where it says more info, you can learn more. And then you have the video here at the bottom, and you can add as much information as you want about your product at the bottom. You can see that up here it says shop, and then it says Purpose Diaries because that's the product that we're looking at. If you add to cart, people can share directly from here to Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. If I add to cart, remember that I put that the form that has a form has to be filled out before, even if I put it on my cart or even before I buy it. So just here, text, demo text, something that can be like a name or a phone number or anything that you might want from them. And now it's added. And now if I go basically, did it not show my, let me see 1 second. I think my cart is hidden right now. I don't have my cart up here. It should be up here. Here we go. So if I go to my style real quick, you'll see this. Ooh, just a little slow. So I'm just going to search for cart. As you can see, my cart, as I said, it's cart position. It says hide. I want to go ahead and put it on the top right corner. And now you can see my cart shows up right here. Save. We're just going to do this again. Add to cart because it needs to be added. I'm going to go back to the shop. Now we have these two, and now you can see my cart has one over here. And then when you click the cart, it will take you to the checkout. And you can also, again, you can have more information here as to how things are going to look. And now, basically, I mean, that's how you get a product to be here. And then people just go directly to checkout, and do from here is for them to put in their credit card information, all that kind of stuff. It'll be taken out to a checkout page. That this can also be edited. We can actually, instead of saying demo page, you can have your logo up here. We can change the color. We can add more information for your customer to see. You can add your frequently asked questions, your FAQs, or your terms and conditions, your return policies, and things like that inside of here as well. But as of right now, I think that about covers most of the basics of Squarespace on how to create and move your content around. Go ahead.
Put your clap, put your clap, put your clap.
Let me go ahead and get back to the here.
So I see we don't have any questions, which probably means you are a very good teacher, or people are like, okay, I'm gonna have to watch the replay and take it slow.
Yeah, I mean, and I know. I usually when I get excited and happy, and I talk about things that I know, I go very fast. So I apologize if anyone was like, "What?" I'm like crazy right now.
You are like me, living your passion. That tends to happen.
Exactly.
So what I want you to share with us now, Jose, if there are people who are kind of like me, who says, okay, this is fabulous, and yeah, I think I could do this myself. But if there are people like me who's like, Jose, this is great, it looks good, but I need you to do it.
Right. No, certainly. Certainly. Well, I do have some offers. I actually came up for you guys today. One of the things that I personally like to do is I like to know more about the person themselves, about what it is that they do and things like that, just to be sure that it is something that I can accommodate for them, if it works for me and if I have time to do it. But right now, I usually like to work with 5 clients whenever I have the time available. I have 3 spots open still right now. And basically, I'm giving you guys this week only. What I'm going to do is I'm going to offer 20% off of any of my services for this week only. So if you guys want me to start a website for you and get it done for you, we'll get 20% off for this week only. And then if you can't do anything this week, that's fine. But to keep that going, I'll give you guys 10% off till the end of the year, so till New Year's, and you guys get 10% off to that as well. And that's for any services that I have. The services that I offer are I have 3 different tiers of web design that I do. The first one it's a handoff, basically. So what it is I create the website, and I use information that you might already have. So if you already have a website or something like that, I can use all of the information, all the content, all the text, all the pictures and images that you already have on that page, and I can recreate something completely new for you. And something like that costs $1,500. With the 20% off, you guys are basically getting $300 knocked off of that, so it'd only be $1,200 for the first tier. And that includes me creating the website, like the one I did for Krisha. And then it includes me getting on a call with you, like 2-hour call. And I will teach you how to edit your website. I will teach you how everything is allocated in your website, where every little bit of information is for you to actually access it and edit it whenever you want it. My second tier is basically, that one starts at $2,500, which is we create a whole new page. We're rebranding everything. So even if you have a logo, but if it's not something that is up to standard to what it's known to be, like a professional logo or something like that, we create everything for you. We create a new brand. We just rebrand your logo, and I have a copywriter. I have a partner of mine that does copywriting, and he creates amazing copy. Every time you read his stuff, it just like, I want more, or you're like, this guy is so persuasive. Like, you're like, damn it, like now I want to buy more stuff. So This guy will make your content on your website sound and read very good. And the third tier is basically a full-on complete package. That one starts at $4,000, which is that complete package of rebranding your website, creating new content, gathering images and videos, and then training you on the platform so you can use it as well. But with that, you get 2 months free of my services, because I
Wow.
usually do services like, so say like on the handoff, I can do the website for you, finish it, and then teach you how to use it. But every month you're probably going to need more changes, and if you don't have the time to do it, I offer webmaster packages, which they start off at $500 a month, which allows you like 10 different projects that we can work on throughout the month. And then packages that go up to like, again, $3,000 to $4,000, which is like you get basically unlimited amount of projects that we can do for you throughout the time. But basically, like I said, like, yeah, like that. For the third tier one is the one that allows you to have 2 months of free work after you get the website done. So, but again, you know, it's just simple as 20% off this week if you guys want to sign up to any of my packages, even if it's just website or consultation or logo designs or anything like that. You'll get 20% off this week and then 10% off till the end of the year. So.
Wow. Thank you so much for doing that, because you have given us
Yeah.
so much value. You guys, can you imagine
Mhm.
actually working with him if he gave this much value on a training? And the 20%, again, I want to reiterate, it's for this week. And then the 10% for the rest of the year, which is
Yes.
till December. So if you
Yep.
are kind of like me, who you're like, I need you to do it all, Jose, then you want to just plan,
Right.
budget, and
Mhm.
get one of those packages.
Yes. And that's the thing. And we can, you know, and it's for me to start working with me, we either usually just, we don't require the full payment up front. We either require half or just a third of the payment up front. So I mean, we can work payment deals, because I know, you know, people are starting off and it's not something that can be working off. But please, you know, please don't hesitate to get my information from Krisha. Get my email, or you can go directly on the website hiddenideamarketing.com and just contact me on there and let me know that you were in her group, or you were here on the training today, and we can work something out to help you get started. You know, even if it's not the first package, the $1,500 package, we can start you something off with a little bit smaller, something to get you off the ground, but on the right path. You know, so because I'm not trying to just be better. I'm trying to be different with the way I do things. So, you know, everyone has set structures. I try to, since I'm a musician, as I told you before, I like to improvise. All about improvisation. So I take things and I go with them. So that's how I like to work with my clients. So we'll try to make everything fit your schedule and your budget, so you can actually, you know, make things happen. So, because I wish I had me as an instructor, just like, you know, like you wish you had yourself as a mentor, you know. So
Yes.
yeah. So, and again, like I saw one of your videos, which it was, you can't have what you despise.
Yes.
Um, and that video resonated so much with me, because it's true. It's most of the people I used to hang out with were people that would do that all the time, that just would despise success from others,
Wow.
and they were always wondering why they never had success of their own. And it's like, because you are putting that out there, that you hate when people are successful, so why should you be successful in your life? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so I
All
remember I
right, Jose,
changed.
the purpose coach.
Right? I mean, it came to me years ago that it was like, you can't be that, because one of the things that makes me really happy is when I see my friends succeed. If I see a friend of mine like post something that they just gained something, or got a new job, or something went well throughout the week, I'm like, heck yeah. Like, that is, like, I feel like I'm part of it, because just to see them excited, it's what I like the most. So that's why I like to hop on with you, because you had such a great charisma, and what you want to do is actually help, something that's bigger than yourself. So that's always great. That's why I said yes to do this, to help you guys out. So
Thank you so much. And you guys who
of
is
course.
in the group, please give your comments on how fabulous this session was today. I mean, I can't thank you enough for going above and beyond. And I know some of these guys are going to be in contact with you to get
Sweet.
them
That works.
started. So we
Hmm.
thank you so much again.
Of course, Christian. Thanks to everyone that was here today. Thanks for all the questions and all of that. So hope to see you guys again some other time. Just get a hold of me.